guys, welcome to my Classics TBR for 2024. I believe this is the first year that I've done this. I just really am in the mood for fantasy and classics, like I've been saying, and so I thought I would create a Classics TBR for the year and see how many of these I can get to. A bunch of these are on my list of 50 classics I'd like to read before I die, but that list also I don't think is the greatest list, so there's some other ones on here. And I'm just going to see how many of these I can get to. I mean, it'd be great if I could get to them all, but I don't think that's possible. I need to get better at figuring out how to make classics work for me. Ideally, I would have one going all the time, but then if I have a classic going, sometimes then I will I'll have a classic kind of going in the background, but then I'll have like more contemporary type book going, and I have a hard time prioritizing the classic at all when I have other books going. So if you guys have suggestions on that, I would love to hear how you work classics into your other reading. I've thought about, like, you know, starting one at the beginning of the month, and then if I haven't finished it by the last, like the third last, how does this work? The last week of the month, then maybe like that's all I can read for the rest of the week or something like that. I'm not sure. I want it to be fun, but I also want to be able to read some of them. So speaking of fun, let's just start with the most intimidating one off of this list. The Pickwick Papers. Honestly, I would just like to read a Charles Dickens this year. I pretty much just have huge ones left by him to read. This one I put on my winter TBR, just partly because this edition is feels very easy to read from physically, but I'm definitely intimidated by it. I'm intimidated by all of Dickens. So yeah, we are reading a very, very abridged, retold versions of Charles Dickens. I think it's called A Story Retold, or a Dickens Story Retold, in our homeschool right now, and I've been going through and reading the stories to my kids, and we haven't done the Pickwick Papers yet, but I want to do that one before I actually start reading the book, because I think having a bit of an idea of what the story is going into it would be helpful. Then a while ago I did a video where I went to the bookstore, my favorite used bookstore, and I actually found a book that Penny recommended. If you guys pay attention to the comments of videos at all, Penny leaves a lot of comments on a lot of booktubers' videos. She's very encouraging, and one of the classics that she recommended is the Belton Estate. Now this font is small, but the book is only like 430 pages, so this feels very doable. I don't know anything about it, and I'm just realizing, when was this published? This might even count for my DIY literature degree. It first appeared serially in the Fortnightly Review from the 15th of May, 1865 to the 1st of January, 1866. Yes, so this would totally count as a Victorian novel, as would Dickens' book. So these would totally count as books towards my DIY literature degree that I'm working on. So there's another one. This one, I keep saying I want to read some Elizabeth Goudge, and I haven't. So I have The Bird in the Tree. This is the first in a series, and I think one of the books in this series is a lot of people's favorite by her, but I feel like I should read the series in order. I don't know anything about it, so I'm going to go into it blind, but that's okay with me. I have heard from comments kind of, you either love her writing or you don't. And some people think I'm gonna love it, and most of the people think I don't, but I still want to give it a try. This one is one of Holly's favorite books, and Holly and I do not have very similar taste when it comes to books, but Hind's Feet on High Places is one I would like to read. I actually don't know when this was published. I'm assuming it was a while ago, 1975. So not really a classic, but we'll count it. I believe this is an allegory, which is often not my favorite, but there are exceptions. So this is a beautiful allegory dramatizing the yearning of God's children to be led to new heights of love, joy, and victory. I'm very curious. Maybe Holly and I will both love another book again. I want to read a Wilkie Collins. This one is on my 50 classics I want to read before I die. This is The Moonstone. Honestly, I might pick this one up first. I hear that this is a mystery story. Yeah, so this has to do with a missing moonstone diamond. And I'm curious because this was written also, I think, during the Victorian period. Am I wrong? 1868. Yeah, so it fits my desire to want to read more Victorian literature as well. Okay, now we're going in a different vein. This is a children's classic, Understood Betsy by Dorothy Canfield Fisher. I got this one from, I think, the thrift store a while ago. And it's one that I see on a lot of homeschool lists, and I don't know anything about it. Possibly originally published in 1917. And I think my edition has lots of illustrations, which are pretty cute, I've got to say. I don't know anything about this story either. Oh, there's cats. But this would be an easy one to check off. So we're going from Understood Betsy to the Betsy Tacy Treasury. I would like to read all of them. Really, all I know about this story, these characters, is the little bit mentioned in You've Got Mail, because I believe that Kathleen Kelly recommends these to Joe Fox's aunt. They are an American family. And then I think I also did read the book that comes after this, the Emily, totally blanking on the name, but I read that one this year, so I think these come first. So I would either like to read, I would like to read all of them since they're in this treasury, but I would at least like to read the first one. Now, the next few books here, I just pulled out, oh, these are not in order, 2 different authors I would like to read a book by. I own 2 books by Elizabeth Gaskell. I have Mary Barton and I have Ruth. Leave your suggestion. Which one of these should I read? I don't know anything about either one, but I would like to read another Elizabeth Gaskell. I've now read North and South and Wives and Daughters. These are both shorter than Wives and Daughters. So I'm going to read one of these, probably whichever one gets more comments. And then I would like to read another Charlotte Bronte. So I own 3 of these, and I would love to hear which one of these I should read. I have The Professor, Shirley, and Villette. And I really like the cover of Villette. For that reason, I kind of want to read this one, but I don't really know anything about them either. I really wish Emily Bronte would have written more books, but because she didn't, I will read some of Charlotte's books. So let me know which one of these I should try to read. I think I've only read Jane Eyre by Charlotte. So The Professor was Charlotte Bronte's first novel, and it's pretty short, small compared to these other ones, although it has very small margins. Shirley was written immediately after Jane Eyre. It's a novel of wider sweep and scope. And Villette, passion and experience recalled in tranquility are the influences behind Charlotte Bronte's absorbing novel, Villette. So let me know which one of these I should read. I'm a little bit more loose on these ones. I just would like to check one of these off because, once again, these ones are Victorian books, and so I have on my DIY literature degree, I have just a Charlotte Bronte or a Elizabeth Gaskell book that I would like to read, so it doesn't matter which one. So that is currently my Classics TBR for the year. Honestly, I will probably not read a bunch of these and then read some other ones, but I would like to try to prioritize these ones, so I would like to hear in the comments which Charlotte Bronte and Elizabeth Gaskell I should read, and if there are some here that you think I'm going to really love that maybe I should read first. And if you guys have any classic books you want to read in 2024, I would like to hear it in the comments. Thanks for being here, guys, and I will be back tomorrow with the last video for Vlogmas.